No, so what happened? What happened with the whole Eazy-E, Ice Cube?
Well, you know, there was a whole thing where they got together, and when N.W.A. was formed, it was just kind of like this novice thing. They didn't really quite know where they were going with it. Like Ice Cube was living in Arizona at the time, like pursuing a degree in architecture when he was like fucking 17. He's no dummy. Like this O'Shea Jackson is a fucking brilliantly smart dude.
Right.
So he goes to like a tech school, trade school out there, and I think he might even spend a little time at Arizona State. And after he gets done, he comes back to the West Coast. Y'all got a motherfucking degree, nigga. Y'all want to rap? You know, that's basically, I guess, what happens. Eazy-E's a kid in the neighborhood who has no musical experience whatsoever. He's a little shy. You know, Eric Wright. They're like, hey, dude, you want to lay down some tracks? You got a cool voice.
Right.
They get the group together. They put it together. They hit the ground running. They all sign a bunch of contracts, you know, and you know, one day without really looking through this thing, because what the fuck, why not? We're punk kids from Compton, where I think Ice Cube and Dre were like, whoa, wait a second, we're both kind of fucking thinking men. We already have, you know, plans in mind for where we want this thing to go.
Right.
So that's when the riff originally started, is when they didn't want to get in on the contracts and they didn't want to sign. Now I think Dre ended up signing, and there was some, you know, riff between Dre and Cube. So by the time, I would say even 1991, 92, when Ice Cube put out, in my mind, the third greatest rap album ever, and I'll save for another day the other best, but Death Certificate by Ice Cube.
Yes.
From beginning to end, that is one of the most politically sound, rumbling, amazing hip-hop pieces of excellence I have ever heard in my life. I got that album when I was 12, turning 13, changed my fucking life. But you'll notice that was, at the end, No Vaseline, the song, and he shreds all of N.W.A.
Right.
But you know who, they never came back with a beef track for him? Because he's fucking Ice Cube, and you don't talk shit to him.
Oh, they did? I thought they did. I thought there was a few.
There was a couple of beef tracks, but there was Dre Day. Dre got back at Eazy on Dre Day. Eazy got back at Dre, or you know, or there was the Dre Day, you know, and then there was the beef when Chronic 2001 came out. There was all these things that kept pending throughout. And in the mid-90s, like Real Motherfucking G's, Eazy-E came out with. That whole beef was going on, but that was mostly like Dre and fucking Eazy and the guys within the group, you know, mixing it up. Yellow Boy and all these guys, they were getting work where they could. Hell,
Yella.
even DJ Quick, who's a Blood, would mix it up with these guys, and those guys are all Crips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, music is it's the kind of thing where it's like, if you know, you start signing contracts too fucking early and you don't think ahead, you know, you're gonna fuck yourself. You're gonna be like, oh, look at all this money, look at $100,000, but you know, Dre and Ice Cube are both seeing the bigger picture where there's millions to be had. But I think since then they've all squashed the beef. And since then, they've all worked together again. That Chronic 2001 tour, Ice Cube worked on that with Dre. Dre's since done a lot of different shit for a lot of different artists, and I think kind of stepped out of the way as a rapper too.
Yeah, he's just straight up producing.
Because you know, quite honestly, I never thought much of his rap. He's like, yeah.
I don't know, man. That
yeah.
that one song he did for the Natural Born Killer soundtrack, Natural Born Killers. I thought that was pretty.
I was into it. I mean, he came correct a few times, but he always knew to accompany himself with real dope MCs. He knew where he stood. He provided a steady thing. You know, most producers are always so rappers. It's just that way.
You know, the problem I have lately has been with Eminem. Eminem had that song. I mean, I used to like Eminem a lot, and then he had that song that recently where it was like, you know, he's rapping, and then there's this nice ballad of a girl burning and fires and shit like that, whatever it's called. And then 6 months later, they release this new one that's on the radio now, which is almost the exact same formula, where it's like, all right, have an angry Eminem going, I don't care what I think of blah, blah, blah. And then have this girl doing the exact same thing. Have a nice another ballad where she's just like, I love the way you lie and stuff. And it's like, okay, now you're just becoming like a cover band of yourself.
Right.
You're just mimicking your own songs.
Yeah.
Are you that fucking bored?
It's a hard call with Eminem, because this thing, ever since he burst on the scene, I always had the utmost respect for the dude. He's a fucking game changer. You know what I mean? Like, he's one of these guys where it's like when it comes to rock and roll. You start asking me to name my favorite bands, I'm going to start with Zeppelin, and I'm going to move from there.
Right.
Now, I know Rolling Stones and it belong in that company and those top bands, but I'll always leave them off my top 3 or 4 personal favorite, just because they're not my personal favorite. I know they're one of the best. But they're not my personal favorite. And that's where Eminem's always stood with me as a rapper. Yeah, I respect the guy. His rhyme scheme is fucking sick. But when I hear him, it's a tonal thing, and a lot of times I hear this. And now he is so good poetically. So many people feel him, and he's put so much credit into the bank of hip-hop.
Right.
It's kind of one of those things where whatever he wants to do now, it's fine. He's given so much to hip-hop.
Right.
So it's like he's going to the Hip-Hop Hall of Fame. He's given so much to it that even though he's not #1 on my player, if they're nominating ballots for the Hall of Fame, if they're erecting hip-hop statues, I give that guy one. You know, and it's like whatever he's feeling right now, I know what you mean, but it's like sometimes it's like the dude, you got to sell records. You don't know what kind of money he's been losing or making. He's living in Detroit. I think, you know, it costs like, you know, a house there is like 87 cents
right
now. So I don't
really
think,
is.
Yeah, I don't think that the house is breaking him, but. And I think he's also doing a good thing for his city of Detroit. It's a city that needs all the fucking help it can get right now.
Right.
You know, here's a guy letting them use his Academy Award-winning song in a fucking car commercial to try to jumpstart the car industry, because that's obviously what they're based on there.
Yeah.
He's the voice. He's, you know, like what Michael Moore was to to Flint, Michigan, and Roger and me. This is, you know, Eminem has that chance to be that new guy. Mm-hmm. So if he's making those records for that town, hats off. But if I have to become comic book guy of hip hop, yeah, I can break down what I don't like about him. There's a lot of things. There's quite a few things.
Yeah, I think what's really cool about him is growing up, I thought his music was just powerful. Like he had a screaming, yelling voice, and it was one of those songs where you're just in your car, fucking yelling at yourself. But now I just don't feel it. But I really do like what he does for the thing or Detroit's pretty badass. Steve Renazizi, a good friend of ours, just recently did some kind of show, or he was invited backstage or side stage of a concert, and one of the performers was Eminem, and he said that he just fucking walked out there like he was, you know, just kind of stumbled out and just was like bam and just destroyed like a fucking professional, didn't miss a beat, just fucking like slaughtered the place, and then walked off calmly.
Yeah, dude. Well, he's all sober now too, from what I understand. Like he had to get off the pills and all that shit. But the guy's just, you know what? I respect him. He's an artist, man. He's just looking for better and better shit. But it's oh fuck, I fucked up at something. I keep going. I was putting Ustream.com online. If I did that, my bad. Sorry, guys.